All right, welcome back. My, oh my. It's still the morning crossfire right here on 99.3 Nigerian 4. We're still talking about this Ibom Air issue. You want to call it Saga. It's a topic we planned to have. And of course, we expect to be joined by Olumide Ohunayo, who is General Secretary of the Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative. We join us virtually. Once he does that, all right, we'll put him on, and of course, we expect to have a very interesting conversation. Maybe we'll continue even tomorrow with another guest. But if you have any, thoughts on what has happened so far, please feel free to call. Our number is 0201 277 0993. 0201 277 0993. I know I ruffled feathers in the morning, and I'm about to ruffle them some more. Someone said the radio just annoys him. It's part of talking for development. Okay, we have to be open to different opinions and all that. That's very important. Please feel free to call. Our numbers 0201 277 0993, 0201 277 0993. And also you can call 0201 465 7190. 0201 465 7190. That second number is exclusively for our female listeners. And the first number, can be used by every other person, male and female. But the second number is exclusively for our female listeners. All right. Our WhatsApp number for your WhatsApp messages only being 080 95 975805 08095 975805. Olumide Ohunayo is General Secretary of the Aviation Roundtable, and like I said, he's our guest for today. Once he joins, we'll put him on the air, and of course you can ask questions you have. But I was asking someone, some of our listeners, during paper review, where is the double standard coming from? And for me, I don't have any problem. I actually agree there are double standards in this country. That's why I was adamant, during the Bobrisky saga, I used the term selective application of the law. And I also said using the, forces of state or the instrument of state to prosecute personal vendetta, which is something that I felt was playing out during Bobrisky saga. And I did say that, for those who, are speaking up against Bobrisky and prodding the EFCC on, one day it might come back to haunt us. And here we are. Now, whenever EFCC arrests a Yahoo boy, call them, or Yahoo girl, sometimes I try to shy away from saying, okay, but they didn't arrest the politicians. Sometimes I don't shy away from it. But deep down, what I feel is that everybody needs to be given the law. Whether it's a politician or it's a Yahoo boy. But anyway, so another part of me is asking myself, why are all these things popping up when we are talking about Festus Keyamo, Ministry of Aviation, and a certain 712 billion naira airport renovation? Why all these things popping up at this time? I could almost swear that, I have to admit, let me say that some part of me, felt that the Kwan thing was just a distraction. I won't lie. That's how I felt, that the Kwan thing was a distraction. But all that is within the realm of speculation. All right, I'm glad to say we're joined by Olumide Ohunayo. Mr. Ohunayo, can you please? Okay, good to see you. I would prefer you are on a plain background, or you can just give me a second, people. Okay, so yes, we have Olumide Ohunayo. I'm used to reading about him in the news, but he's here in the flesh, and he is the secretary of the Aviation Safety Roundtable. Mr. Ohunayo, good morning to you. It's good to have you on the program. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. My name is Olumide Ohunayo.
Ohunayo.
Secretary.
Ohunayo. I'm sorry.
Ohunayo, yeah.
I'm sorry. I knew that I was getting it wrong. You know, we read your name in the news a lot. We mention it, you know, and you're General Secretary of. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What are your thoughts on the entire conversation surrounding what happened on Sunday, regarding Ibom Air and their passenger who flew from Uyo to Lagos, Comfort Emansim, some reports say Comfort Obo. It's Ohunayo.
Is it Comfort Emansim or Comfort Bob? Because the document that was taken to court as Comfort Bob.
Bob.
And the name that was... Yes, Comfort Bob. If you've seen the charge, yes. You see Comfort Bob.
Yes.
And the one for the passenger that was unruly is Comfort Emansim. And if we cannot get this things right from the beginning, how then do you want to effectively implement the law? Because if you convict Comfort Bob and Comfort Emansim continues as a president, it's not the same person that your no-fly list would hold on to. And so we need to get something straight as we proceed. And maybe anyway, good morning once again to all Nigerians. We woke up yesterday to the news of that unruly behavior at the Lagos airport. That flight actually commenced from Uyo in Akwa Ibom State and landed in Lagos. Well, there are some things that are not, for me, I call it sketchy, in the sense that some of these things happen in the aircraft, and we have seen a lot of. It was not like Quam 1, whereby it was outside the aircraft and everybody saw it. But the one for the lady, what triggered the action happened in the aircraft that we did not see. It was the mad rush of the rash behavior of the lady who turned very violent both inside the aircraft and outside the aircraft. Even inside the bus, after she had been caught, she was also violent. So it wasn't just the crew. The charge that she was violent to the crew. She was violent to the aircraft, to the airport staff. She was also violent to the security officials and also destroying properties, attempting to destroy properties. So the charges are there, and then, like I said, what actually the phone issue of asking you to switch up. There's that wrong scenario that when you have your phone on airplane mode, it's assumed to be safe. But the airlines insist that even in that airplane mode, that phone should be switched off.
Mr. Ohunayo, I think the network isn't too great. We've been losing you intermittently. I don't know if there's something you can do about it.
Aircraft, before they said, listen to the briefing of the cabin crew. How about you are giving the exit door signs and other instructions that will come for the safe passengers? Because can you hear me now?
Okay, I think it's a bit better. Though it's freezing. If I don't know if you can. Okay, I think it's better now. It's better. Yeah, but we needed to. Okay, I think we have you back now. Yeah. So you started from what triggered this, and you were addressing the issue of turning your phone off or switching it off versus flight mode. And so, what do the regulations say?
Yeah, as at the time the regulations were made, the aircraft mode was not there on the phones. Okay. So and that regulation has not changed. So the regulation says switch off the phone. It's just like when the Nimet had issues the last time. That Nimet are the guys that in charge of weather, and they went on strike. Now, by virtue of different applications and other world organizations, you can get that weather report from any other place, even from your phone, using the appropriate weather app. But the law says before you can take off, NIMET must give you weather reports. So if you do not get weather report from NIMET, you get it from your phone or any other source. If there's an incident or an accident, one of the things the insurance will hold on to was, did you get your weather report from NIMET as written in the regulations? So it's the same thing with the phone issue. The rule is switch off your phone. All passengers to switch off their phone and take off and at landing. At any time, at any time the fasten seatbelt sign comes on. Not airplane mode. Airplane mode came after that law,
and it has not been changed.
The law has not been. Not been changed.
I've heard people say when I fly international, I can use my phone. Why are you stopping me? When I fly international, they can allow me to use airplane mode. Why are you stopping me?
Remember that we just used one word now, the law. The law is the law. So when you change it or when you adjust it, you have to by the law because of insurance purposes. Because anything happen, if one of the things, when one was their phone on airplane mode, and they said, what, that can put the crew in trouble or even the airline.
Okay,
so the law still states, switch off your phone.
Talking about the law, and I think also, one of the things that really gets me worked up is when people stand up, even before the airplane taxis to a halt. Everybody is up, we're standing on the aisle, waiting to be the first to jump off the aircraft, and I'm like, what is going on? But let's stick with this story. Some have questioned the action of the airline in detaining this young woman. Like you said, we still need some facts to be able to come to a logical conclusion. But let's just look at a scenario of such a manner. If a passenger conducts himself in an unruly manner, assaults airline staff, do they have the authority, let me say, to detain such a passenger before security can come take him or her away?
Well, let me start with the point you threw in like a joke. It's also a serious issue. It's being unruly. When you stand up to open the cabin hold when the aircraft is taxiing, you're supposed to be seated till the aircraft comes to still and parked. At that point, if you stand up and injure yourself, your lawyer wants to sue the airline. And in the process of you trying to injure yourself, you might also injure another passenger that is sitting calmly on his seat or her seat. And if that passenger is injured while sitting down on a seat with the seatbelt fastened, then the airline must pay for that passenger's injury and whatever compensation the passenger asked for, because she was seated on her seat, obeying the rules, and got an injury on board the aircraft. So standing up to pick your luggage when the aircraft has not come to a complete stop is also unruly. And you can also have the same issue having the security being called to you to pick you up. But you see, the problem, we've not been implementing and dealing with these unruly issues. We've been using it paddy, and oftentimes it's the powerful, the VIPs, the executive, their relations, those connected, that are always flouting this rule. So it hasn't been difficult to implement in the past because nobody wants, even the airlines themselves don't want to hurt this class of people. Because one way or the other, there's a way the government will get back at you. If they don't get you with your taxes, they will get you with your airline. If they don't get you with your airline, they will get you with one land that is situated in a place that is not. But coming back to your question, like I said, there have been different positions. One said it was while they were taking off in Uyo that the issue of the phone happened. Now, if it was while they were taking off in Uyo, that aircraft should have turned back in Uyo there and called the security to disembark that lady before the flight took off.
Okay.
Another person now says it was when they landed in Lagos. Now, if it was when they landed in Lagos and she was giving them problem, then they could. Then it's the appropriate is for the cabin crew to report to the pilots, who now calls the security to meet them at the foot of the aircraft. That door should not have been opened until the arrival of the security men.
Okay, so what I heard was that they did not detain her. From the airline statement, that they opened the door for the passengers to disembark, and that she stayed behind in order to teach the purser who asked her to turn the phone off a lesson. So it was while everybody had finished disembarking that she now launched the assault, according to the airline, on the purser and, of course, later her fellow cabin crew member.
Yeah, you see, I'm taking through the normal process now because I've heard three versions. I've seen the Ibom press release. I've seen passenger something Ibrahim's version of the story. I've also seen another passenger's version of the story. But let us go through what the process is, and we'll now go back to whatever scenario was have happened. Now, so when the security is called in, is when the security have arrived at the foot of the aircraft. Then you open the door
so
for them to come in. Is that?
Yeah, what if there was no need to detain her before that action happened?
I will come to that.
Okay.
I will come to that.
All right.
Now, so when they get in, so it's either the security takes her out of the aircraft first, or keep her within the aircraft until when all other passengers have disembarked. And they do that when they find out that if they see that the passenger is a bit violent and maybe strong, then they want such passengers to be delayed till other passengers are out of the aircraft safely. Remember, I said any injury of modern aircraft to any passenger that has complied with the rules and regulations, the airline will bear the cost of treatment and compensation that arises. So you have to take this issue with guided steps, so you don't run into problems, but both the airline and the airport operator. Now, in this case, this lady, there's a version that said it was the crew that stopped her from disembarking. That was what Pastor Ibrahim. The airline said she did not. She waited. Another person said she went to the toilet when they were disembarking and deliberately waited to be the last passenger to come out of the aircraft. Let me tell you something. I was not happy with that scene of that cabin crew standing by the door and holding that door. That was too risky and dangerous. So once she has bashed into her, she would have fallen off the aircraft. Again, at the points, if you look at it again, at the point she was holding the door, the lady was still calm. She was still calm. She even tried to video that part that, look, I want to get out of the aircraft. They don't want me to get out of the aircraft. If you have seen that part, I thought that if after disembarking and she was a problem, the first thing to have done was maybe shut that door till the arrival of the security. Not that position of standing, and that was too risky for the crew, and even the unruly lady, or let me call her agitated, because if she had gone back a bit and moved like a bull, I am sure both the crew and her would have fallen out of the aircraft. But the rule is, well, for me, but we don't know what transpired, what made that provoked.
Okay.
But whatever must have happened.
Yeah. So please, I'm going to interrupt you here
must have happened,
because we have to go for a quick commercial. When we come back, we'll continue looking at this scenario painting. We'll be right back.
Conversation, more talk, more right after this.
Hey, Boku don come again with the high quality for low prices. Boku don reduce over 20 more products, from canned Malta Guinness for 500 naira to Dano 1 to 3 years growing up milk for 4,000 naira to no chicken and no beef cubes for 1,800 naira. Even your favorite Indomie Super Pack chicken flavor for 350 naira. Come add 1 kg golden penny semovita for 1,550 naira. Hurry now, go any Boku store for prices with cheap pass market.
Yes, so check Boku for prices with cheap pass market. And Boku not far from you. This one no be promo. Now like this we dey enjoy every day for inside Boku store. Oya halele go Boku store now.
In today's housing update, real stories from Nigerians benefiting from the ARM-managed Ministry of Finance Incorporated Real Estate Investment Fund, MREIF, also known as MREF, a private sector-led initiative launched by the federal government.
Hello, my name is Mr. Obiora. Thanks to the MREF program, I just bought my first house in Enugu. I paid my 10% upfront and MREF paid the balance.
That's right. MREF is here to make owning a house a reality for more Nigerians, offering affordable mortgages of up to 20 years at a fixed interest rate of just 9.75% per annum. MREF is open to all Nigerians, and you too could move into your own house. For more information, visit any of the participating banks listed on the MREF website or apply at www.mreif.com.ng. www.mreif.com.ng.
This message is brought to you by ARM Investment Managers, fund manager for MREF.
Hey, rewards to the lander! When I buy airtime and data on any network,
I get up to 10% cash back.
I pay my NEPA, DSTV, or StarTimes and call
3% cash back.
Now so, Smart Cash back, don't get reloaded.
And they load my wallet.
Hey, it's the Smart Cash back reloaded. Top up airtime or data on any network and get up to 10% cash back, or pay your electricity or cable TV bill and get 3% cash back sharply. Only on Smart Cash. No dull yourself. Download the Smart Cash app or dial *939# to start today. Terms and conditions they shall.
Start your day and have a good time.
Kivo Creamer.
And where you need to have the break time.
Kivo Creamer.
If not tea, or garita.
Kivo Creamer. Kivo Creamer.
In the kitchen game, there are players and then Agba Ballers, MVP, Player of the Year, 10-0, no rival. Become an Agba Baller with the new improved Maggi chicken flavor, made with a flavorful formation of onions, celery, turmeric to bring out your top game in the kitchen. Elevate the taste of your everyday dishes with delicious rich chicken flavor. Oh yeah, let's go.
New Maggi chicken flavor, my game changer.
Madam, I beg, bring one cold can of Malta Guinness.
I beg, make them two. Quick, before driver move.
Oh yeah, take. One na 600 naira. So now 1,200 for the two.
Yes, so Malta Guinness is now 600 naira. Now you get the same refreshing, nourishing, rich premium Malta Guinness for just 600 naira. Available at stores near you. Malta Guinness, here for every kind of you.
What can you do in just 2 minutes? Brush your teeth, get dressed, or warm up your food. In 2 minutes, you can also buy your motor insurance with Leadway Assurance. No queues, no stress, just 2 minutes and you are set. Visit auto.leadway.com today. Leadway Assurance, ensuring happiness since 1970.
This taste na banger, this taste na creamy rich, this taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1. Thickness, enjoyment, yumminess, happiness, delightfulness, deliciousness, smoothness. This taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1.
Enjoy more creamy richness with the new Nescafe Original 3-in-1 in the new pack. That's strong, finish strong.
Golden penny pasta, what's your reason?
What's your reason, oh?
Everybody gather round. Come and hear the news in town. From the kitchen to my heart, every single body's a thrill. With every bowl I share, I find more reasons.
There are more reasons to love Golden Penny pasta, enriched with protein and fiber for you and your loved ones. Golden Penny pasta, great taste, good nutrition.
Football is on.
Liverpool are champions again.
When the streets erupt for screamers and last-minute winners, you know it's on.
For the passion, the rivalries, the biggest football stars. Oh, it's on.
It's astonishing.
It's on everyone's lips, on every screen. It's on every week for the diehard fans and even the occasional fans. Football is on, and it's on for every reason. Only on Supersport. Stay connected and stay with us, starting from DSTV Yanga.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of North seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
Na so I dey on my own. Na a message enter my phone. Fiam. I can't click am. Fiam. Na so my money for account go. Fiam. Hey. If to say na Airtel you dey use, them for first alert you before you click am. Airtel they identify spammers, then alert them customers with AI powered service to make sure say you no fall mugu for wuruwuru scam messages. No charges, no subscription needed. Me self they go join Airtel. Fiam.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Remember how mom would wake up early, make us breakfast, iron our uniform?
We have to do something special for her.
Yes, so let's make this money fair.
Why wait? Reward your mom now with a trip to Zanzibar in the 2025 Three Crowns Milk Mom of the Year competition. Write a note with each letter of a name and submit with a picture of 16s or 2 refill pouches or 30 sachets on www.threecrowns.com.ng or at our collection centers for your chance to win. T's and C's apply. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Hey Lagos, have you ever taken a moment to reflect on where you started and where you are now? I bet back then you just thought that this day it will never come. But then look at you now. That's progress for you. It takes time, but eventually with consistency, you get to experience it. I saw this post on Ife's Kitchen of how she started, and man, humble beginnings. Do not despise them. It really got me thinking how far I've come as a person. I mean, when you want to start a business, we all know how these things are now. You start small and you're like, when will people start patronizing? Or when will people actually see the value in what I'm selling? I know, right? It can be a lot. There's this friend of mine I used to have in secondary school. When she started making cakes and baking, it just looked like, Auntie, you're wasting your time. But you know, with time and consistency, she took this thing to the next level, got into university, and did not stop. And right now, my dear, baby girl is running deliveries up and down, owns her own store, and yes, I am eating free cake as a supporter. So, to me, progress is definitely consistency. Now, let me ask you that question. What does progress mean to you?
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, Lagos, welcome back. Less than a week, 2 separate incidents at our airports have ignited fierce debate about passenger conduct, aviation security, and the limits of enforcement. I'm sure you remember that on August 10, which is what we're talking about, everyone is talking about, an Ibom air passenger. This was Sunday, not Monday, as some feel. Comfort Emerson or Comfort Bob, we don't know which we should choose, allegedly refused to switch off her phone, a mobile phone, before takeoff, sparking a physical altercation with crew and aviation security upon landing. And of course, AFSEC is the arm of FAN. I think NCAA also have their own aviation security as well, meant to protect our airports. They screen passengers and baggage, managing unruly behavior and preventing unlawful interference, all while meeting international standards. The guys who wear the blue uniform, these are the people we're talking about. Of course, Ibom Air put out a statement yesterday. I've read most of it around 5-6 o'clock, and can't go into it all. But what they're saying, they explained what happened and commended their staff for being professional. They also maintain that the passenger attempted to forcibly remove a fire extinguisher to use as a weapon, an act that they described as an intention to damage and ground the aircraft. Well, as it stands, we know that Comfort Emanson, or Comfort Bob, whichever is her name, is cooling her heels at the Kirikiri Correctional Center. What we're told is that the airline sued her, if that is the term, because when you hear sue, it's a whole long process. But she was charged to court yesterday, and she was granted bail. From what we hear, she couldn't meet her bail terms, she couldn't find the securities and all that, and therefore she's remanded in Kirikiri Correctional Center, Kirikiri Prisoners, some would like to call it, till she can perfect her bail conditions. But the case didn't just end in a courtroom. It went viral with leaked footage showing her indecently exposed, raising questions about privacy, dignity, and professional conduct. And this is just a few days after, on August 5, that's just 5 days before this current incident, Fuji legend Kwamwan caused a major scene at Abuja's Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport on the tarmac. He was troubled, or said to have been troubled, by a flask allegedly that had some alcohol in it on board ValueJet. He was not allowed to take it on. He was actually sent back, and he was not happy. He was seen blocking the aircraft from taking off on the tarmac, and authorities branded his act akin to a hostage situation. He was promptly issued with a 6-month no-fly ban by the Minister of Aviation. Also, 2 ValueJet pilots were suspended for breaching protocol. All right, our guest here, because we're asking if you've ever experienced or witnessed such drama at the airport, you can call in, tell us what happened. We're also asking you, should unruly passengers face lifetime bans, even for a first offense? Is leaking embarrassing footage of passengers ever justifiable? And do you think high-profile people get treated differently at Nigerian airports? In other words, does the poor man Pekin get a different treatment from the VIPs, like Mr. Ohunayo, who is my guest here? Yeah, VIP. I'm sure they won't they won't bundle you at the airport, But anyway, and of course, if you're listening, what should be the priority, the top priority of the aviation security officials, the AFSEC? Should it be strict enforcement, or should it be protecting passenger dignity? And like I said earlier, we have Olumide Ohunayo, who is General Secretary of Aviation Roundtable, Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative. Mr. Ohunayo, I'll pick some calls soon, but before we went on the break, I asked for your thoughts on how the airline conducted itself. Of course, you were talking about the fact that they should have locked the door instead of blocking the passageway because of safety reasons. They could have blocked. But is it unknown to aviation for airlines to detain unruly passengers or passengers who break the law? Is it something known to aviation?
Annex 17 of ICAO and Civil Aviation Regulation, Part 17, which is also Part 17 of the Civil Aviation Regulation, is very clear about that the pilot and crew have the right to restrain an unruly passenger pending the arrival of the security. When they are not able to do that alone, then some passengers will join in restraining the passengers. And that's why when she refused to take instructions on that phone, it was a passenger that collected the phone from her and put it off. I've seen in some quarters where some people criticize the passenger, that why would you meddle into what was not supposed to be his business. It's everybody's business, because you're all on board. You all need the safety of that flight is the responsibility of everyone on board that aircraft. Is the primary responsibility of the crew, but the secondary responsibility and tertiary responsibility of all passengers, including infants.
All right. No wonder I've seen, in some instances, passengers.
And I also need to address something you said about the life ban. I heard you say something about the life ban. Sorry that
please go.
I just messing up our convo this morning. I also totally agree with you. I think the decision of the AON was hasty. The life ban was also, I think that was severe. I think this leader has been charged to court. We probably have allowed the process to go through and then see what the outcome is. Before then, you can give a ban in the interim. But definitely a life ban is too harsh for the first offender. But like you said, I could hear that while the phone was battling for network. The laws can only be effective, respected, and devoid of ambiguity when all are equal before the law. The same law that applies to Mr. A should also apply to Mr. B.
Okay, we'll come to that very shortly. We'll come to that very shortly because that's where I want us to land on. So let's look at first of all, you've established, that the ICAO protocol or ICAO rules allow airlines Annex 17, okay, even passengers to detain unruly passengers or passengers who break the law. So there was nothing wrong in detaining her. All right, but I want you to speak. Okay, I want you to speak to the standard operating procedures for handling, lawbreakers on the tarmac and in the airport, because it looked like the aviation security, officials, and other officials there were a bit disorganized. Even with Kwam Wan's situation, some have asked why he would have even have had the opportunity to block the aircraft from moving. So is there something that we're missing here? Are there rules in place in this country or even internationally that will allow people behave like you see in other parts of the world?
Well, I totally agree. From the Kwam Wan issue to this lady, the number of airline staff around and at foot of aircraft, it's alarming. And this will definitely affect efficiency and profitability. Because I said why we have this large number of people, and it is not the number that brings efficiency, but the process and procedure, training that brings efficiency. I think we can do better. What I've noticed in the last two episodes is that that coordination and communication between the airline, the aviation security, and the police at the airport, it's presently not well organized, and it needs to be reviewed. I think that coordination is bad. Now, coming to your question, if a passenger is unruly inside the airport building, it is the responsibility of FAN, aviation security, to take control fully. If that unruliness is at the counter of the airline that needs immediate attention, then the airline security team and FAN will work together to take control of the situation. And if it's on the tarmac, not necessarily attached to any airline, it's also the responsibility of FAN aviation security. But if it's at the foot of the aircraft, then the security team of the airline and FAN security are supposed to take charge. In all of these scenarios, the Nigerian police must be a backup when things go well. Now, if you look at the scenario of Kwam Wan, they literally have put that lady, the pilot, in trouble. Immediately that door was closed. If Kwam Wan does not, even before the door gets closed, at the point they said they were not going to carry him and they were closing the door, Kwam Wan should have left that place immediately. After the door was closed and he was still standing there, those who were pleading with him needs to be queried. Because at that point, he should have gotten Kwam's treatment of being bundled or handcuffed out of the tarmac. So pleading with him was what caused that, delayed that flight, provoked the pilot, and made a mess of the whole situation, and even embarrassed Nigeria in the global community. Immediately that door was closed and the engine was running, he should have been handcuffed or bundled out of that vicinity, straight to the security unit.
All right.
Rather they were pleading and we got embarrassed.
I mean, I've seen, Mr. Ohunayo, I've seen in other crimes where, even people who are seen to be terrorists or people who are seen to be maybe on the terror list or they break some law, that you see if it's not Department of Homeland Security, you see some heavily armed police officers, they will have their reflective jacket, all right, but you see they wrote boldly police on it. They will come and escort you. And as you're coming down, they have already handcuffed you. 2 police, one on the left, one on the right, because they're trained for this. And as they're going down the staircase, there are like 2 or 3 police vehicles with their lights on. You're written clearly police, and you'll be placed inside, and then they'll take you. So I mean, don't we have something? Because you talked about police, AFSEC, collaboration. Do we have, well-trained police? I mean, not well.
Please don't go there.
In aviation security.
We don't have that arrangement in place. So just don't go there. Sorry?
Because since 9/11, yeah, the airport has become a top security priority since 9/11.
It remains a top security priority now until today, because for you to get all the certifications, the health certification, for category 1 of FAA, that's the Federal Airport Authority of America, what's most important to them is the security of your airport and the process you have in place to ensure that flights and passengers are safe within the vicinity of the airport. I said it before, the coordination is wrong. And the last 2 episodes have shown that if this can happen in Lagos and Abuja, that are almost the biggest airports in Nigeria, what happens to airports like Sokoto, Akure, and Benin? The last time we saw a video of a governor who arrived at Benin Airport, and almost all the talks were on the tarmac, going there to hail and receive him. So if this can happen in Lagos and Abuja Airport, which are the biggest airports in Nigeria right at the moment, then there's a need to revamp their aviation security architecture on the airport side and improve coordination in all ramifications. What we have today, I know what you're talking about, the Homeland Security. Unfortunately for us here, rather than have a single body coordinating airport security, we have everybody reporting to their boss. The Air Force is reporting to their Chief of Air Staff, the police is reporting to the IG, APSEC is reporting to FAN MD, then you have the civil defense reporting to their commander general. It goes down like that for every security. Airport security is not just the function of APSEC alone. Globally, with its president, the immigration, customs, everybody is put together in the NDLE. Everybody, any of those military and paramilitary working within the airport are supposed to coordinate. It's supposed to be a joint operation, and that's why sometimes you will see police, you will not see police, they might not even be police, but because they are part of that team handling security, they take charge.
I mean, for organizations, like that want to be seen as a top, amongst of global standards, like even here in this premises where I am, this organization, we have ISO standardization. From time to time, the owner of the company would tell us we've qualified, we want ISO this, ISO that, So if we have these ICAO standards, it means that Nigerian aviation has failed to live up to those standards. Because it means that any security breach can occur at the airport and the people will not be protected. So this therefore means that we need to, first of all, at this time, halt all flights and review our security protocol and standard operating procedures. From now, that's what Festus Keyamo should be focused on, not giving life bans.
Well, you see, the one thing about Nigeria, and which also it's part of the epidemic in the aviation industry, is that we all have the rules and regulation in place. If you ask us to present our rules and regulation, we will not fail any test. If you ask us to produce the structure, implementing and working for the rule to be implemented, we will not fail it. But when it comes to actual implementation, which must be something, it's when issues like this that have happened with Quam 1 and Quam 2 that you can begin to test the implementation of those things. And I think now they've woken up to see that, yes, we have the protocols in place, we have the officials, we have the rules, we have met with all the standards, but now implementation has shown that this is something that needs to be tidied up. It happened again last night in Kano. Again, there was an unruly situation in Kano last night.
Was it that one Ibom Air?
And this one, no, this one has to do with Max Air.
Okay.
Last night in Kano. And you see, the truth is that this thing has always been in our system. Passengers always, it is not the way they behave on international flights that they behave on domestic flights. It just of late that the airlines are now waking up now. That since they are now paying all those heavy compensations for flight delay, loss of baggage, now they also need to implement their own side of the deal. Because when you condone unruly passengers, listen to this. When you condone actions of unruly passengers, you surely will delay your flight. And that was what happened with the One flight. That flight was delayed. And because these flights they're not like cars that operate Lagos to Ibadan and park and wait for the next one. No. As this aircraft is landing in Ibadan, it's taking off to Benin or Abuja. And from Abuja, it's coming back to Lagos or going to Enugu. So now, once you delay it at one stop, that delay cascades all through the sector that aircraft is supposed to fly for that day.
So, Mr. Ohunayo,
and those in the other sector do not know it was an unruly situation.
Okay, so who is meant to implement these, standard operating practices, these ICAO protocols, these global best practices? Remember, a former minister, senator, once blocked an entire airline passengers from boarding, and he created a whole scene, even if he may have had his right or his own grievance. So who is meant to fix this? The lack of standards in addressing issues like all this. Who?
Let me first disagree with you to answer your question. He does not have that senator does not have a right to block the terminal entry and also climb.
No, I said it. Yes, I said even though he had his own grievance, is what I said. No, not right.
Okay. He doesn't have a right to do that. I think it was very unruly and also should have been prosecuted. What we heard was they're investigating and they're still investigating today. But the comfort who has no father or mother that is in the government has already gone to court or in jail waiting to be prosecuted. But coming to that, who has the right? It's a joint effort. It does not be on a particular organization. It's Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority is to lead the process. Federal Authority of Nigeria is also part of the process, and the airlines themselves. Then you have the police, the Air Force. The Air Force is the military arm of aviation, who also acts as backup to the airport security architecture.
Okay. All right. We don't have enough time to exhaust this conversation, and callers have been queuing up. 99.3, good morning.
Good morning, Kofi Bartels.
Please go on, straight to the point.
This is Pastor Ladipo.
Welcome.
Calling from Ohunayo. Kofi Bartels, I think your guest has already pieces the whole thing for us. The truth is this: that lady that stood by the door was absolutely wrong. Something more dangerous would have happened. And the truth is, let them dig. There is more. If they've landed in Lagos, why are they still holding hostage? Where is the professional training to arrest someone?
He said they have a right to detain you. They didn't hold her hostage.
Yes, they have the right to detain, but they should have locked the door. So in this situation now, everybody has a question to answer.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. We don't have much time. A final word from you, Mr. Ohunayo, before we go. Is there something you'd like to add? You want to call on authorities to do something, or just in 30 seconds?
Yes, I think the other thing I would add again is that the world is watching. I know in the last 5 years, India has had 375 no-flight ban lists. That means 375 passengers have been unruly. Now, we have not had this list. We've not been serious about it. And that's why you're seeing that the activities of this unruly passengers was growing. So I think there's a need to start that list now, place it vividly for everyone to see, so that passengers will not know the price to pay for being unruly. Unruly passenger is not only a threat to you ourselves, but also a threat to the aviation security, safety, and to the other users and passengers.
Mr. Ohunayo, thank you very much, General Secretary of Aviation Safety Roundtable, Olumide Ohunayo. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us.
Body, big moves, little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3